Ethan, you're an Iraq War veteran. We dealt a lot with this case in 2007, the case that WikiLeaks revealed with the videotape that was taken by the U.S. military in the Apache helicopter, where your unit opened fire on Iraqi civilians. The helicopter attack that killed 12 people and wounded 2 children. The dead included 2 employees of the Reuters news agency, photographer Namir Noor Eldin and driver Saeed Shama. The WikiLeaks.org posted the footage from the helicopter. This is the moment the U.S. forces first opened fire.
Have individuals with weapons. For radio.
You're clear.
All right, firing.
Line here. When the phase line
Let me know when you have it.
Watch you. Light them all up.
202 traffic, 260s.
Come on, fire.
Hey, Roger. Keep shooting. Keep shooting.
Bushmaster, 2 things. Bushmaster, 2 things. We need to move time now.
All right, we just engaged all 8 individuals.
Ethan McCord, you were one of 3 U.S. soldiers who were on the ground after that attack. You pulled the 2 children out of the minivan that was fired on to help get them to the hospital. Can you talk about what happened and how it affected you?
Yes, I did pull the children out of the van that day, and didn't find out that they were denied to go to Rustamaya for health care until afterwards. Later on that evening after the incident, when I was back at the FOB and I was washing the blood of the children off of my uniforms, you know, my mind was a mess. I was very emotional. Couldn't really deal with what I had seen, and more importantly was more upset with what I was a part of. So I went to my staff sergeant and asked to see mental health so that I can talk about my feelings and what I was feeling. And I was denied to go to mental health. They told me I needed to suck it up, and that there would be repercussions if I was to go see mental health, and I would be charged with malingering. And I was rather shocked that just by me needing to speak to somebody about what was going on and what I was feeling could constitute a crime in the Army. So like the good soldier, you know, and not wanting to be charged with malingering, I did in fact push everything down as much as I could, and
Ethan, can you tell us?
Tried to move on.
So the Apache helicopter attacks the men on the ground, and you see, and people can see at our website, democracynow.org, I mean, when one of the Reuters employees doesn't quite die, how he's crawling away, and they strike him again until he dies. You then are on the ground. They blow up this van, but you save the children. Did you say that they denied you taking them to the U.S. military hospital?
Well, I placed the boy into the Bradley armored vehicle, and the Bradley was not a part of our unit, and neither were the Apaches. They were just attached to us that day. When I placed the boy into the Bradley armored vehicle, I was yelled at by my platoon leader for worrying about children instead of worrying about finding other people to kill. I was not aware that they were denied to medical care at Rustamaya, where our FOB was. Actually, I wasn't aware of that until the video was released. And in fact, I didn't even know there was a video.
Because it was in the Apache helicopter.
Right.
So talk about what happened to you then. Eventually, you did come home after, what, 5 months?
Yeah, I came home in November. I was wounded in Iraq. I came home and was still trying to seek mental health counseling, which was the mental health in Fort Riley, Kansas, was just overwhelmed. You had to wait at least 6 weeks to be seen by somebody in mental health. I had to, my command there didn't know that I was trying to sneak down to mental health to be seen. And in fact, I had to talk to someone who was a civilian psychologist first, just to get some of the emotions out. While I was waiting to be seen by mental health, I started self-medicating by drinking a lot. And when I tried to commit suicide through alcohol, I was then taken to a civilian mental health hospital where I started to receive help before the Army even helped me.
Your wife tried to get you into a hospital.
Right. She kind of like tricked me into going to the hospital, and in fact, I went to the Irwin Army Hospital, where they had a psychologist who was on duty. He didn't really talk to me or anything. They called my command, and one of the staff sergeants who were there came down to the hospital, and instead of just degraded me while I was in there, said that I was nothing, I was nobody because I was doing this, so, you know, I had to listen to that as well. And in Fort Riley, they didn't have a military mental health hospital there. So they sent me to a civilian mental health hospital, where they began to prescribe me multiple medications, like Geodon and Depakote at the same time, which are both severe antipsychotics. Which is just a few of my 13 medications that they put me on.
Brock, you were brandishing. I mean, your marriage didn't survive. You got divorced, but you were walking around the house with a knife. I mean, sorry,
yes,
Ethan.
I was.
Ethan McCord.
Yeah, I don't remember the incident, but according to my ex-wife, yes, I was.
And so what does this day mean to you, Ethan? This day that you join with other vets and soldiers in Washington, D.C. How many other soldiers do you know like you? And how many others do you know like you who are being sent back to Afghanistan?
I know many soldiers who suffered from PTSD and TBI and who are being ignored. This systematic problem is being ignored, and they're being redeployed. The unit that I was with, they just got back from Iraq a few months ago. You know, one of the soldiers who was there, they kicked him out knowing he had PTSD. They kicked me out knowing I had PTSD, TBI, and had metal rods and pins in my back. And they kicked me out on what's called a Chapter 517, which states that all of my conditions were pre-existing. They've done this to over 250,000 soldiers. And it's time to stop. It's said between, like, at 20% at the minimum of troops are suffering from some sort of trauma, whether it be TBI, PTSD, or military sexual trauma. That's an extreme amount of soldiers who are suffering, and they're being denied their basic human rights to heal. And we're trying to put a stop to that. It needs to end now, and we need to stop the redeployment of these troops.
Time magazine has learned Army troops are seeking mental health more than 100,000 times a month, the figure reflecting growth of more than 75% from the final months of 2006 to the end of 2009, according to Army data. Brock McIntosh, as we wrap up, the plans for today, your thoughts on this kill team, the hearings that are taking place in Washington State as this so-called kill team in Afghanistan, U.S. soldiers are taking trophies of ears, skulls, leg bones, on this, what is now the 10th year of the war in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I don't know enough about these kill teams, but I know that before they joined the military, they weren't killing people and collecting their bones. And I think what war does is oftentimes it sort of provides a context for otherwise good people or people who wouldn't do acts at that level of disgust. I think that war provides them a context to do those things. And I don't think it's helpful when you go through basic training and you're told to kill, kill, kill without mercy, and being told that blood makes the green grass grow.
Brock, real quick, today's plans.
Today's plans, Ethan and I are going to visit Walter Reed Hospital, and we're going to do a ceremony with about 10 other veterans from Iraq, Veterans Against the War. We're going to lay down 10 roses, one for each year that we've been in Afghanistan, and one for the new year that we're about to begin, to honor our fellow soldiers. And then we're going to march from Walter Reed to Capitol Hill and have a press conference where we're all going to tell our own personal stories about our experience in war.
Well, Brock McIntosh and Ethan McCord, I want to thank so much for being with us today. Ethan McCord, Iraq war vet; Brock McIntosh, Afghan war vet. He's applying for conscientious objector status. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. Thank you for being with us. Yesterday, as we went to our Facebook page, we had this musical posted there. This will be our break. Democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
And welcome to all of our listeners and viewers around the country and around the world.
Juan, your column in the New York Daily News today is about the immigration bill in Arizona.
Yes, well, there's been a furor throughout the country over this bill. You show me your papers or you go to jail bill, already spurring enormous outrage.
Porque no vale lo que cuesta, no vale, es una vena abierta. No vale la tierra de vaca que se cena, te da de su leche y después tú te la almuerzas. Vende el alma y vende tu cama, si se pudiera se vendería el karma. Vende el ángel de los cielos, ya que en la tierra lo hacemos un infierno. Y la libélula, ¿a dónde va? Que aquí quede tu cortina, partió. Y la libélula, ¿a dónde va? Que aquí quede tu cortina. Y nadie sabe relacionar el mundo animal y el mundo